All right, we're going to continue to figure out the volume of rectangular prisms. We're just going to talk about more efficient ways to do it than doing so much individual counting, because there's faster ways, and it's important in math that we move from sort of understanding what it is to doing things in more efficient ways that we can apply to more shapes. So go ahead and just get your brain working from the last lesson and figure out what the volume of that rectangular prism is. Write it down on your notes and then keep going when you have figured it out. All right, so hopefully you figured out that it is 60. 60 unit cubes fit in. You probably counted that top layer, figured out it had 15, and then there are 4 layers, so 15, 15, 15, and 15 are 60. Now, we're going to talk about some formulas. This first one, before I explain it, I just want to say what a formula is. It's just a rule that uses math symbols. So you'll start to see them more and more. Instead of just saying we do length times width to get the area, for example, you might remember from last year, there's a formula. V or A equals L times W. But it just is the same thing, just sort of in math language instead of in words. So math symbols, just a rule for how we figure something out. So one formula involves multiplying to find the number of cubes in one layer. So like we did with in the last lesson, we figure out that one layer, then we multiply by the number of layers. So we figure out the volume, or the area of the base, how many cubes are in that bottom layer, or in really any of the layers because they're the same, and then we multiply by the height. Volume equals the base times the height. How many cubes are in that base times how many cubes tall it is. So essentially what we were doing yesterday or in the last lesson, just a rule for it. Instead of saying it all in words, now we have sort of it in math terms. Volume equals base times height, or V equals B times H. Okay? So we'll do some more examples if that still feels confusing. So the first one we'll do together, then I'll have you try the second one and see if you got it. So I want to find the volume. We're going to find the area of the base, or how many cubes are in the base. Now remember, we can't really see the base very well, so we can look at the top layer because it's the same. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is in the base. Now we multiply it times the height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. Remember, it's just like the last lesson. 8 cubes in one layer times 6 layers. All right? Go ahead and try the second one. Remember, you're finding the volume. You're going to multiply to get the base. Okay? On this one, I could have done 2 times 4. So remember, you can just do that times that to get the base, and then multiply it by the height. Give it a try. All right. To get the base, I can do 7 times 2. That gives me that, which is 14, times the height, which is 5. That gives me my whole volume, which is 70. 14 times 5 is 70. Okay? Find the area of the base, and then multiply by the height. Now there's a different way to get it. Okay, it's very similar. It's almost breaking it down another step. We do the length times the width times the height to get the volume, or L times W times H. You'll see it abbreviated. So in this one, we take the length is 5 the width is 3, the height is 4. We multiply them together. 5 times 3 times 4 is 60. So that's that same rectangular prism as before, just in a slightly different way. It's almost like, remember how we had to multiply to get the area of the base? That's really just telling you, oh, I do length times width to get that. So I think this way is maybe a little more straightforward if you're feeling confused. Okay, so we'll do this first one together, then you'll try the next one. Let's figure out what is the length first, because it doesn't tell us. We have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the length. The width is 4. The height is 3. So I do 6 times 4 times 3. I could also do it in any order. So if you don't stress about which number needs to go first or anything, any order is fine because we're just multiplying and you can multiply in any order. We get 72 cubic units. Go ahead, try that next one. Remember, volume equals length times width times height. All right, hopefully you did 8 times 4 times 10. We know 8 times 4 is 32. 32 times 10 equals 320. And we know this one is feet, so we can say feet cubed because it's little cubes. All right, 2 last ones to try, and you can choose whichever formula you would like. Now I'll point out, it tells us the area of the base. That's what that means. It tells us what the base is. Maybe it's 9 times 5, because that would equal 45. Could be anything that equals 45. And then the height is 4. This one gives us 10 times 9 times 4. So go ahead, try. We'll call this number 1, this number 2. Try them and see if you can get it. All right, let's see what you got. Did you get, I suppose you did the multiple choice, so I know if you were right or not. Anyway, the volume is the base times the height. This one makes more sense to do with that. 45 times the height of 4. 45. I know that this is 4, so I can put 4 in there. 45 times 4 should be 180 if I'm doing my math correctly. I was just checking on my calculator because it's fine to use. Is 180. All right. And in this case, we have a unit, so inches cubed. This second one, 10 times, I can do length times width times height. 10 times 9 times 4, or 9 times 4 times 10, or 9 times 10 times 4. Any order is fine, is 360 centimeters cubed. Squish it in there. All right. As always, if you need more help, still feeling confused, ask some other people who are working on the same thing who can help you, and then ask me if you still need more help. Good luck.